opening day, the Mets had high hopes for Todd Hundley. His two-run homer sparked the Mets to a come-from-behind victory over the Cards. Since that day, Todd has electrified the crowd and seen a power surge.
And it is gone. Goodbye. Hit deep to right field, and I'll tell you, if that was his intention, oh, what a happy Hundley rounding the bases.
High voltage action from Pittsburgh next on 9. Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today, the Mets finish up this three-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mets Baseball 96 is brought to you by Bud Light, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. Make it a Bud Light. By your local Honda dealer. And by Coca-Cola. Always playing, always Coca-Cola. Couple of right-handers going today for the Mets. Bobby Jones. Bobby trying to earn his first win of the year. And for the Pirates, he's a tough right-hander, Paul Wagner. 3-1, a 2.20 ERA.
And welcome to Pittsburgh, everybody. The New York Mets with a chance to take the rubber match of this three-game series. Gary Thorne, Tim McCarver, and a nice Sunday to you. And you know, good lines never go away. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. For the New York Mets, that's still true.
Well, in spring training, as a matter of fact, everybody was saying that offense was going to be the weakness of the New York Mets. However, they have been a run-producing machine. Look at the 8 starters in today's game, a combined .314 average. But what was supposed to be their strength has been their weakness. They're pitching 12th in the National League, and their defense is last. So their strength is their weakness is their strength, and a pretty good sample so far because they have played 22 games.
And Bobby Jones, one of the people they're relying on, has not gotten off to a good start. He'll be on the mound for the New York Mets today. We'll see how it goes when we come back after this from Chrysler. Welcome back to Pittsburgh, everybody. As we get set to go, the Mets will face a 28-year-old right-hander in Paul Wagner, is putting up some spectacular numbers. 4th best ERA, that 2.20. He is 6th in strikeouts and the 8th lowest batting average in the National League.
What a difference a year makes. He lost his first 10 out of 11 last year. Mets lineup brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer, leading off Lance Johnson, followed by Jose Vizcaíno. Bernard Gilkey has just been terrific so far. He's batting 3rd. Kevin Roberson, a game-winning homer in last night's game, will bat 4th. Rico Brogna 5th. Todd Hundley 6th. And Jeff Kent once again at 3rd base. Ray Ordonez with a 12-game hitting streak batting 8th. And Bobby Jones, the pitcher, batting 9th.
Check the alignment for the Pittsburgh Pirates defensively to start this game. In the outfield left to right, Martin, Kingery, and Merced. Hayes, Bell, Garcia back in the lineup, and King at first base. The youngster Jason Kendall will do the catching with his battery mate, 28-year-old right-hander Paul Wagner. Jerry Crawford's at home, Ed Montague, Wally Bell, and Tom Halley in the umpiring crew. We are ready to go. Lance Johnson leading it off right to second base. Garcia's there. Welcome back. Carlos Garcia hasn't played 10 games, out with a groin injury. So, of course, the first pitch is a soft line drive right to him.
A little white baseball can find guys that have been untested for a while. Has a knack for doing that.
Amazing, huh? So Garcia's got that one, and Lance Johnson is retired on the first pitch. The red-hot Jose Vizcaíno, best average over the last 10 games in the league. Shows bunt and takes the strike. Vizzy, of course, putting together the 9-for-9 stretch, raising the average up to .338. 11 hits in his last 17 at-bats for Vizcaíno. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wagner's 3-2 lifetime against the New York Mets. Right-hander's career mark is 25 wins now and 33 losses. And as Timmy said, he has made a dramatic turnaround from last year.
And the big reason for that, the split-finger fastball, and I would imagine Vizcaino will see that right now. He rarely throws it for a strike and uses it with 2 strikes on the hitter. Nope.
Aim of the fastball, missed outside with it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I talked to Paul before the game, and that's difficult in itself to talk to a starting pitcher before he starts. He said that splitter has been the difference.
Here's a guy who last year had the 4th highest ERA. This year, 4th lowest ERA at this point.
He's won 3 already this year. Last year, his 3rd win came on August the 29th.
Slightly ahead of schedule. He'll take this one. 3-2 delivery. Vizcaino goes to left. Martin right there. Two down, and the base is empty in the Mets half of the first, and Bernard Gilkey.
That's a 2-seam fastball right there. Predictably will run away from Vizcaino. It does, and Vizcaino hits it to left field. He hit it hard, but right at Al Martin.
You can see the movement on that one, Timmy, huh? Really moving away.
It's difficult to throw a 2-seam fastball and not have it move for you.
Gilkey takes the breaking ball outside, the slider. Bernard Gilkey's off to a great start for the Mets. That .341 batting average puts him just out of the top 10 at the moment. National League leader right now is Wally Joyner of San Diego, as he's over the 400 mark, 442. Tony Gwynn's not in the top 10 now because of the injury and out of games. He doesn't have enough at-bats to qualify at this point. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Gilkey. Bernard Gilkey, 6 hits in his last 16 at-bats. Pirates lead the Mets in the series this season, 3-1. Swung on and missed. Drew, great pitch down and away. That is the 33rd strikeout in 30 innings for Paul Wagner. Mets do not score. Pirates coming up after this from Heineken. The Pirates coming up in the first inning, and for the Mets, 26-year-old right-hander Bobby Jones. The numbers for him. It'll be his 4th start. He made a couple of extended spring training starts trying to get on track.
Pirates lineup is brought to you by Honda. Leading off, Carlos Garcia, the second baseman, followed by Al Martin, the left fielder. Batting 3rd, Jeff King, the first baseman. Right fielder Orlando Merced will bat 4th.
Garcia takes it, first strike.
Jay Bell, the shortstop, hitting 5th. Mike Kingery batting 6th. Batting 7th, Charlie Hayes, the third baseman. Jason Kendall hitting 8th. And Paul Wagner hitting 9th.
Towards second base. Play made and 1 away. Vizcaino at second. Take a look at the defensive alignment for the Mets. Gilkey, Johnson, and Kevin Roberson in right. Kent, Ordonez, Vizcaino, and Brogna in the infield. Hundley and Jones the battery for the Mets. Garcia retired on 2 pitches by Bobby Jones, trying to get that exploded ERA down and get his first win of the season, 0-1. Fouled back by Al Martin. We will keep an eye on Bobby Jones' delivery today. That is why he went down for the extended spring training. They want him to stop throwing across his body and to get that front foot planted more towards the plate. If he can do that, I think he can throw more strikes and keep the ball down.
And he can probably throw more often, too, because when you open that front foot, that really takes the strain off the right shoulder. When you throw across your body, the strain on that posterior deltoid, that outside muscle, could be severe and has ended a lot of pitchers' careers.
Now, he has been up high here in the first 2 batters that he's faced. Al Martin, a 1-2 count on him. Bobby has worked hard. Greg Pavlik, pitching coach, working with him. Towering fly ball to left. Gilkey. 2 down. So a hot Al Martin retired for the second out here in the first inning, and it'll bring up Jeff King. Pirates 2-2 on this homestand, which will conclude The New York Mets, on a very quick road trip, will be returning back home, and they'll have a quick homestand. 3 games against the Expos, the Red Hot Expos. Jeff Fassaro, Pete Harnish opening that one up tomorrow night. 2 down, bases empty. Here is King. Ball 1. The number 3 hitter in the lineup. Some very good numbers. He leads this team in both home runs and RBIs with the 7 homers and the 18 runs batted in. He has gotten off to a good start for the Pirates. 2-0 count on him.
Looks like Bobby's right hand is bleeding. It looks like the back of the index finger knuckle.
Wiping it off on the pants there between pitches. See him looking at it, and Todd Hundley's on his way out.
That looks like the thumb. He appears to be all right. Sam McCrary looking on. Sam, the assistant trainer. Fred Heenan. Well, we've seen spitters. We've seen guys use slippery elm. A blood ball Bobby Jones is throwing.
Oh, great. He went around on that one. 3 balls and 1 strike. An inside look at the medical kit.
ER. Sunday edition.
It's not a rerun either. 3-run delivery by Jones. Fouled straight back. Todd Hundley coming back will have no play. And it's 3-2 now on Jeff King. Mets need Bobby Jones to get straightened around. He has been tagged. The opposition hitting .340 against him in his first 3 starts.
Here's what Gary was talking about. That front foot and the toe of the front of the left foot, the toes of the left foot. Bobby has more than 1 toe on his left foot. It's got to be pointed toward the hitter.
Ordonez makes the play in our continuing coverage of medical terminology, body physiology, and mental quickness. After this from Bud Light.
No score, top of the second. For the best selection of Mets merchandise and to purchase Mets tickets, visit the New York Mets clubhouse shops. Clubhouse shops are located at 575 Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, the Menlo Park Mall in Edison, New Jersey, and the Roosevelt Field Mall in Garden City. Be sure to visit the Fifth Avenue store on Tuesday, April the 30th, and meet Bernard Gilkey from 11:30 to 1:30. And when you meet him, you will be impressed. Believe me, he is a fine young man who has done a terrific job for the Mets.
Bobby Jones getting attended to over there for whatever that cut was.
Well, in baseball, there are stats for the pitcher, and in medical terminology, stat means an emergency at the hospital, right?
That's right.
Quite appropriate. The singular version of stats. Stat, stat, stat.
1-1 count on Roberson, who fouls it off. Kevin Roberson leading it off, his batting cleanup. One of the reasons he's playing today in the start in right field. Take a look at Bobby over there, still being attended to. Butch Husky pulled out of the ball game after some problems defensively. Didn't play last night. Roberson got a start, delivered big home run. So he earned himself the right to stay in. Swung on and missed. And Wagner gets his second strikeout. 1 down here in the second inning.
And that was that splitter that we talked about in the first inning. Paul Wagner's last start last Tuesday afternoon at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. He had 10 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. And look how that splitter dives out of the strike zone. Rarely will he throw it for a strike.
He is 6th in the league in strikeouts starting today's action. 1 away, and Rico Brogna 4 for 12 in this series. Wagner onto that short windup. Fastball missing outside there. 2 balls and no strikes on Brogna. Wagner, the opposition, hitting only .223 against him. Left-handers at a .250 clip and right-handers just .206. Rico putting up some Strong early numbers for the Mets. Fouls that one back, 2-1. Ironic to look at Wagner and the starts he's made, Timmy. You mentioned the afternoon. All of his starts have been in the afternoon. You can hardly plan it that way. Here's the one we were talking about. Wagner going to the back of the mound here.
So much of it in the case of all ball players is confidence, but particularly with a guy like Paul Wagner. Down on himself last year, 1-10 start. And Jim Leyland said, look, you're going to be out there. I'm going to keep running you out there regardless of how you do. And naturally, there would be a statute of limitations on that.
And Rico reaches. Bell. Nice play to knock it down on the carpet. 2 away.
Kind of get into expectations. A lot of teams, there is an urgency to win. With the Pittsburgh Pirates, there's an urgency to improve. And I think that's what Jim Leyland wants out of his players. He realizes he's lost a lot of big market players, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, Doug Drabeck. So the urgency here is just on improvement and not winning now.
They have started out 2 games below 500 at this point, 11-13.
Kevin McClatchy, the 33-year-old owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He has made some kind of PR effort, hasn't he?
He really has.
And it's paying off with those kinds of responses from the fans. He is everywhere at once in this city selling the Pittsburgh Pirates. Good House will be on hand here for today's game. Jacket giveaway day. They're expecting somewhere around 24,000-25,000. And a nice afternoon. Some very high, thin clouds. Temperatures in the mid-70s.
Kevin McClatchy telling us in New York that he recently went to an owners meeting and they couldn't believe how he was getting out and selling the team the old-fashioned way, beating the sidewalks.
Door to door, right? And right now, Wagner's beating the Mets as Todd Hundley goes down swinging. That's 3 Ks now for Wagner. 6 Mets retired in a row. No score. Now this from your local Chevy Geo dealer. McCarver back with you here in Pittsburgh. Scoreless game going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And this break in the action, a great time to break with a great taste of Bud Light. A big hit with fans everywhere because it won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light. New York Mets coming in here 9-13. Looking to get back to that 500 mark and then from there. Bobby Jones here in the 2nd inning will face Merced batting in the cleanup spot. Bell and then Kingery for the Pirates. Merced over the last 8 games, a bit of a tailspin for him. Only 5 hits in his last 30 at-bats. He had a hit streak before that where he was like a house of fire. So he went from one end to the other. Overall, 244. And he has some power. Jones, the off-speed pitch, played by Vizcaino. Bobby Jones will cover and makes the tag, and Merced's retired.
That was actually a ball that could have been fielded by Brogna, but it would have been a tougher play because Brogna's a left-handed thrower. Second basemen usually have word signs to the first baseman. Watch, Steve Brogna could have fielded that ball, but he would have had to pivot, whereas Vizcaino's facing the play, a much easier throw and a much easier catch for Bobby Jones.
Jones got over there in plenty of time. Here's Jay Bell. He'll take the strike on the slider in the outside corner. Bell's numbers on the season. 3 for 9 lifetime against Jones. Bobby Jones has been touched up pretty well by most of the guys in this lineup. Kind of a dangerous lineup he faces here based on precedents against him. He is 2-1 lifetime against the Pirates, but has given up some home runs, and Garcia, Martin, Merced, Hayes have hit well against him. 1-2 off the fist to center. Lance Johnson. 2 down. Don't need the glasses on all the time. You see Lance Johnson had him up there. It's pretty bright and sunny this morning. There's been some high clouds move in now. It's a little hazy sunshine and a little on the cool side, actually. Beautiful day, though, for the game, but not any bright sun. Mike Kingery, 2 down, bases empty, fouls off the first pitch. Way back in the batter's box. Swung on, line to short. Ordonez has got it. Does a little snatch catch at the end there, and that'll do it. So 6 retired by each pitcher in this game. After 2, we are scoreless. More after this from Bell Atlantic. On the road here in Pittsburgh for this game on this Sunday afternoon. Mets 4 wins and 6 losses in road games during the first month of this 1996 season.
Big rivalry between the Pirates and the Mets back in the middle 80s. Jim Leland's first year, 1986. Jim saying on Friday night the Pirates made a cosmetic run at the Mets in 1988, but came up short. But, of course, every town you went into in the middle 80s, the Mets had a rivalry with that team, and they're trying to look for that swagger back.
Everybody was making cosmetic runs at the Mets that year.
Right.
Without much to show for it. Here is Jeff Kent. And Wagner's pitch gets away from Kendall, the catcher. It'll be Kent, Ordonez, and Jones due up for the Mets here at the top of the 3rd inning against the right-hander Paul Wagner, who has walked none and already struck out 3. Bring his strikeout total to 35 on the year. Kent takes the pitch away. Talk about 86. Mercy, mercy. How about those 2 teams that went in that great World Series 10 years later? Both struggling mightily, Mets and the Red Sox. Foul back. Red Sox trying to keep from being the worst team in baseball. They're not doing it very well. Kansas City, the team that have been down there with them, rocked them 10-0 yesterday. Boston's won only 6 games. New York Mets have won only 9. Fastball taken down low, 3 balls and 1 strike.
A lot of talk about Kevin Kennedy, the manager of the Red Sox, perhaps being the first casualty of the 96 season. What's new about that? Another Kennedy on the spot in New England.
Some things never change. Towering pop-up behind second base, Garcia. The second baseman's got it, and Kent's retired. 1 down here. Ray Ordonez coming up. See who's not hot. Boston Red Sox. Mike Greenwell, Jose Canseco, who's now on the DL.
So is Kevin Mitchell.
Roger Clemens is 0-4.
Man,
he came back in a contract year, and they thought in about as good a shape as he'd ever been in. 0-1 the count. That's what clean living does to you. Wagner's pitch swung on, chopped foul outside of first base. Yeah, we talked about things that weren't expected as far as the Mets were concerned. Nobody expected a .333 batting average from their rookie shortstop at this point in time, or any time for that matter.
Another spectacular defensive play to end the game last night with 2 on and 2 out against John Franco.
Ordonez, a 12-game hit streak, will not be extended there. He goes down swinging. 4 Ks for Wagner.
Paul Wagner has the nastiest stuff of any pitcher the Mets have faced this year. I mean, he is throwing some nasty sliders, sinkers, and that split finger fastball. That was a slider that Ordonez went down on.
Said great control. 10 walks is all he has surrendered in over 30 innings. Broken back pop-up by Jones. Merced on the right field line hauls it in. So Wagner's gone through the order and retired all 9 Mets that he has faced. We are scoreless in Pittsburgh. Now this word from your local Dodge dealer. Easy scorecard to keep to this point. The 2 pitchers have gotten it done. Nobody's been on base. Charlie Hayes, Jason Kendall, and Wagner, the pitcher, due up here as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Take on Bobby Jones, who has put the ball in play here on all 6 batters he has faced. A great baseball city throughout its history, and the major leagues have done everything they can to keep this going. Denny Nagel is charting for the game he's going to pitch tomorrow. Looks plenty relaxed, sitting there along the dugout. Charlie Hayes, 9 hits in his last 22 times at bat, deep center field. Last Johnson back, 400 feet away. Goodbye, home run.
Kidding with Charlie Hayes around the batting cage today, and I said, I guess that's what hang with them is for, right, Charlie? He said, yep. He said, but somebody's going to pay one of these days. Unfortunately for Bobby Jones, it's today. That ball out over the plate, rifled out to center field.
Jones, second, the home run by Hayes, rather, his second, both here in Pittsburgh. Jason Kendall up, takes the pitch for a strike.
Ball out away from Charlie Hayes. Full extension. Straight away center field.
Fouled off by Kendall. Strike 2.
The eyes have it.
You can see a little ooh. Deepest part of the ballpark. 2 strike deliveries up high. Bobby Jones has now surrendered 3 homers. First one to a right-hander. Lefties had hit the other 2 off him. And the long ball has long been a problem for Bobby. A 1-2 pitch. Good off-speed breaking ball gets him. First strikeout. Jason Kendall, the young catcher, goes down. And there's one away.
Willie McGee and John Mabry of the Cardinals, the other 2 that have homered off Bobby Jones. McGee with a 2-run shot, Mabry a solo shot.
First runner, first hit, first run.
Well, Bobby's the type of guy who's going to give up a lot of home runs because he's not really a low ball pitcher and he doesn't throw that hard.
Vizcaino ranging on Wagner's ground ball, 2 away.
If you're not a low ball pitcher, what you have to do is concentrate on the lanes of the plate. The outside 2 inches and the inside 2 inches. And in order to be effective, that's what Bobby Jones has to do. Gibson used to say that the plate's 17 inches wide. Those middle 13 are the hitters. The outside 2 and the inside 2 are mine. And that's what all good pitchers, that's how they think.
Pitch is taken inside. Leadoff batter, Carlos Garcia, grounded out his first time up. Charlie Hayes in his career now 5 for 12 against Jones, including 2 home runs off him. Has given the Pirates the 1-0 lead. Bobby surrendered 20 home runs last season. Fouled off down the right field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pittsburgh Pirates coming into this game 3rd in the league in home runs. That's got to be a bit of a surprise. But they've got some pop in it. They've got guys who can do it. Hayes certainly is one of them. Merced's another. Deep left field. He's clapping already. Garcia. Goodbye home run. I'll see you. After missing 10. It is 2-0. His 3rd home run of the year. Now Martin. Ball 1.
Now you might say this is a pretty good pitch, and it was a pretty good curveball, but how did you get there? You didn't move the hitter back off the plate before you threw that good curveball, and that's another thing that Bobby Jones has been doing. He hasn't been coming inside enough, especially on right-handed hitters.
1 ball, 1 strike on Martin, who's got a 7-game hit streak. 2 down here, bases empty, and Jones misses up high again, 2-1. And Timmy, he started to do what we were talking about. The home runs have rattled him a little bit. He stopped with that foot going to the plate, and he's starting to fall away again and coming across the body on the last couple of pitches. Came back a little on that one, gets the foul tip, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the Pittsburgh Pirates, 28 team home runs now, 1 ahead of the Mets. And he got him swinging, went after a high pitch, but home runs by Hayes and Garcia, solo shots in the 3rd, have given the Pirates a 2-0 lead. Now this word from your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Nissan dealer. Factor in this game, both these teams' pitching staffs among the top 5 in surrendering homers. And the Pirates have picked up the first 2 of this ball game and have the 2-0 lead. The line score after 3, and we go to the 4th with Tim McCarver.
Well, Paul Wagner has been perfect, retiring the first 9 Mets in order, striking out 4. That young man learning how to keep score, which is the first thing I had to learn when I became a broadcaster. I did not know how to keep score. As Lance Johnson with a first base hit of the ball game for the Mets, singles up the middle.
You never did it as a kid?
Never did it as a kid. Playing.
Yeah.
I played since I was 8, and I never really I had a chance to keep score. So when I retired, I'm figuring, how do you guys do that?
And you found out none of us know. Everybody's still looking for the first scorecard somebody else has kept that you could actually read.
Yeah.
Everybody does it different.
Jose Vizcaino hit the ball hard to left field. Al Martin made the catch back in the 1st inning. Two nothing Pittsburgh here in the 4th, the rubber game of 3. And then the Mets return home, as Gary said. Jeff Becerro tomorrow night against Pete Harnish. Pedro Martinez against Mark Clark on Tuesday, and Tavo Alvarez against Jason Isringhausen on Wednesday night. And then the Mets hit the road again for Chicago and South Florida. 0-1 to Vizcaino.
That's fans a chance to see this Montreal team that's number 1 in the East right now, having won 8 of their last 10 games. And you do have to give credit Felipe Alou for what he has done in another situation like Jimmy Leland faces. A lot of players gone.
Take a look at our National League scoreboard. Braves and Cardinals tonight at Bush, and the fastball low to Vizcaino. 2 balls and a strike. Cubs and Dodgers this evening. And the Astros against the Padres, who are off to a roaring start. 16-8 for San Diego. Montreal and San Diego with the best records in the National League. Matter of fact, tied for the best records in baseball. 16-8. Good hit and run situation here. They got 2 balls and a strike to Jose Vizcaino. Our Toyota American League scoreboard, the Yankees over the Twins. Yankees and Doc Gooden with a great outing yesterday. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run. And the Red Sox losing again today
to Kansas City.
See where Jose Offerman is being played at first base now for Bob Boone's Royals.
At least you can't make a throwing error very often.
No. All those errors for the Dodgers 4 years in a row, replaced by Greg Gagne, who incidentally was the shortstop for the Kansas City Royals last year. There goes Johnson, and this one foul back. 2-2 to Vizcaino.
Kind of a protecting swing right there by Vizcaino. Looked as though he caught Johnson going a little late on the delivery because he didn't get a very good swing there. You watch out of the corner of his eye, probably sees him going and fights off that pitch that he might otherwise have stayed away from.
That again, that 2-seam fastball that Wagner throws, it darts away from the left-handed hitter. Lined, caught by Garcia, double play.
Why don't you get in the game, Carlos Garcia? Mercy. First pitch was hit to him, a soft line drive as he comes back off the DL. Then he hits a home run. Now he catches this line drive. I mean, not a real tough play, but got to make it, and he did.
Timing has to be perfect on a ball hit like that, however. He didn't jump too soon, but he did catch the ball at the apex for the double play, doubling off Johnson at first. Nothing Lance could do on that play. One ball, no strikes to Bernard Gilkey. We're in the fourth inning, 2-0 Pittsburgh. Three balls and no strikes to Gilkey. There's a strike, 3-1 to Bernard. Line drive, and Garcia can't catch that one. So the Mets have hit 3 balls hard and have a runner on at first and 2 out.
We mentioned how the Mets have had their problems with defense. So have the Pirates. The Pirates are 11th in the league in defensive fielding percentage. So they've helped themselves out here a little bit today with some good plays already.
Now, Jim Leyland realizing that in order to win games in the major leagues, you have to tighten up the defense like a guitar player tightens up the strings. 0-1 to Kevin Roberson. Kevin's second start, and his first start last night, he won the game with a 3-run homer off Dan Michelli in the 9th inning. Tapped foul, 0-2. The only team in the major leagues that can get away with playing shoddy defense in this day and age, the Cleveland Indians.
Because of that lineup.
Right, and that pitching. Right.
Yeah. They give up so few earned runs and get so many.
Right. Well put.
They're leading Toronto 9-0 in the 4th inning, Cleveland.
Nothing and 2 to Roberson, and the breaking ball is high. We'll see if Wagner goes back to that splitter. And there was the splitter. It's outside, 2-2. You see the young catcher, Jason Kendall, looking over to the pitching coach, Ray Miller. And they'll never tell you that. I asked Ray on Friday night if he was calling the game. He said, well, I just don't want to tell you. But it certainly looks like he is. There goes Gilkey. Swing and a miss. Roberson down on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Paul Wagner. Still 2-0 Pittsburgh. We're back after this from Nobody Beats the Wiz. Man in style.
Cute, huh, Mom?
Yeah. All young kids want to wear their caps like catchers.
That's where that came from,
yeah,
isn't it?
Of course. See, just like Todd Hundley.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't emulate better people, and there's another one who's also watched a few catchers.
Lifted to shallow center. Lance Johnson, 1 out here in the 4th. And that'll bring up Orlando Merced. That's interesting. I was talking to Jason Kendall, the young catcher for the Pirates. As a matter of fact, neither catcher, Keith Osick or Jason Kendall, started a major league game before this year. And the Pittsburgh Pirates among their brain trust, including manager Jim Leland, have 4 of their 6 that were catchers. Gene Lamont, Jim Leland, of course, minor league catcher. There's Jason Kendall. Then Rich Donnelly was a catcher. And Milt May, their hitting instructor, a catcher. 1-1 to Orlando Merced.
Donnelly, pretty good perspective on the game from a coaching staff that spent that much time watching from behind the plate.
Outside corner to Merced. 1-2. There's Gene Lamont, formerly the manager of the Chicago White Sox, fired in the middle of last year, replaced by Terry Bevington. Ground ball towards second. Vizcaíno throws out Merced. 2 quick outs here in the 4th, and Jay Bell, the shortstop, coming up.
Youngster Kendall, only 21 years old, part of the farm system of this Pittsburgh team, which, like most clubs, has got the financial problems, has got to develop from within. So he moves all the way up from Double-A ball to the major leagues as a starter. And that's what's going to happen in these organizations now that don't have the money to keep some veterans. And they also have had a couple who were named the most valuable player in that Southern League back-to-back years. He won it last year, and Big Mark Johnson, that first baseman, has got such great power, won it the year before. Not in the lineup today.
Fastball to Jay Bell. What you're seeing in baseball is an eradication of the middle class. Left center field, and Gilkey over to cut it off. Nice play by Bernard as Jay Bell has hit number 3 for the Pirates. And a 2-out base runner here in the 4th inning.
That's one of the problems. We were talking about the Red Sox earlier and their bad start, Timmy, is that they have not yet been able to get their minor league organization together. That's why they went out and got the likes of Canseco and Mitchell to try and fill the gap while they develop a minor league system, which really has not produced many players for the Red Sox over the past decade, really.
Bobby Jones almost slipped on that throw to first base. You think of the Red Sox in the middle 80s. They produced Greenwell, Jody Reed, Ellis Burks. Fastball on the corner to Mike Kingery. 0-1 to Mike. Of course, you have had the development of Bo Vaughn and John Valentin, but that was 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. Both Seton Hall players, teammates at Seton Hall. There goes Bell. This one punched foul. So it's 0-2 as Mike Kingery go back for some more wood. Nothing and 2 to Kingery. See if Jay Bell is running here. 2-0 Pittsburgh in the 4th. Not running, and this one again fouled back. Coming into town tomorrow, the next 3 days at Shea, and take a look at who has been hot for them. My goodness.
Some pretty awesome numbers.
Fouled away. Henry Rodriguez with home runs in 4 straight games. At one time, he had 6 home runs and 13 at bats. He's cooled off since then.
Lansing and Segui, with those averages, ranked 2nd and 3rd, respectively, in batting average in the National League right now.
Talking about a guy who has found a home in Montreal, David Segui. Traded for Reed Cornelius in the middle of last year. The Mets had a backup in left field when Bobby Bonilla was still with the club. And then I guess you could still say that's the case now with myriad outfielders in the minor leagues. Jay Payton, Alex Ochoa. David Segui, because of the numbers, traded to Montreal, and he has really blossomed into one of the better hitters in the National League. Could always field inside to Kingery. A ball and 2 strikes to Mike Kingery.
Montreal's gotten off to a 10-3 home start, which has really helped them because they were loaded up with some games at home early on. Rico Brogna, of course, the #1 fielding first baseman in the league, and Segui, the man whose place he took, finished second in that department. And Rico's up with that .320 batting average, so some real talent the Mets have had that position.
Poke towards short, easy play for Ordonez, and Vizcaino covering. So no runs for the Pirates in the 4th. However, they lead 2-0. We go to the 5th after this from your New York, New Jersey, and Fairfield Viewing. Well, I guess that explains it. You are here, confluence of the Allegheny, Monongahela rivers to form the Ohio that flows south toward the Queen City, Cincinnati. It is the confluence, and to the right of your screen, that's Old Forbes Field. As a matter of fact, the only remnant of Old Forbes Field still remaining is the wall over which Bill Mazeroski hit his famous home run to end the 1960 World Series against the New York Yankees. One of the more dramatic blows in the history of this great game as Rico Brogna takes strike 1 from Paul Wagner. Mets trailing 2-0 here in the 5th. There's the splitter in the dirt, 1-1 to Rico.
I did compliment you on the artwork, didn't I?
Took me all morning to draw that up.
It was very, I noted. You had the rulers and...
Wasn't too sophomoric, was it?
No, absolutely not.
I don't know that I used a ruler, however.
You didn't? Oh. Well, you had that little cardboard case that had the pencils and little pens and things. I was impressed.
Had my easel.
Protractors,
today.
compasses.
2-2 to Brogna. Not bad.
No,
drawing, just
yeah.
Drawing, not one of my forks in school. I did spell confluence right, though.
Told you if you call the library, they're open on Sunday. They could help you.
Rico Brogna, 2-2, top of the 5th, 2-0 Pittsburgh. Outside, full count to Brogna. Wagner has struck out 5 and allowed only 1 hit. Make that 2 hits. A single by Johnson and a single by Gilkey. Did he go? Yes, he went too far. 6 strikeouts now for Wagner.
You know, it's clear how much movement Wagner has on the pitches today with those kinds of swings. With the ball moving in, out, and down, and you never know which way. Very tentative about swings. That's what happened to Rico Brogna. Watch this one. Ooh, splitter down, in, thought about it, and then it went out of the strike zone. Fastball situation. He got the splitter. And Todd Hundley rifles one to center, but Kingery is there. 2 outs here in the 5th. This copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by Sterling AA Enterprises LP solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or use of pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Sterling AA Enterprises LP is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, likewise prohibited. Jeff Kent now the batter. He popped the second his first at bat. There's that first pitch breaking ball. 0-1 to Kent. Fouled away, 0-2. When pitchers are growing up, they think that the best time to throw a curveball is with 2 strikes or when they're ahead of the hitter. And the reason for that is that little leaguers can't get their curveball over. So you grow up with that mentality when actually the reverse of that is true. Kent doesn't go. 1-2 to Jeff. It's best with the count 0-2 and 1-2 to throw the fastball, generally speaking, preferably inside.
And the better the hitter, the more you want to crowd them with 2 strikes because they're the ones who are protecting away. When you're behind in the count, if you can do it, it's best, generally speaking again, to throw the breaking ball because hitters are looking for fastballs. Did Kent go too far? No, says first base umpire Ed Montague. 2-2 to Jeff Kent. Again, you have to be innovative behind the plate, and sometimes there are rules of thumb, and you don't have to follow that rule all the time, but those are 2 pretty good rules to live by. Grounded foul, still 2-2.
I was going to say, Timmy, important that you added you have to be innovative behind the plate. If the pitchers don't understand that, and I think a lot of them don't, then it's up to the catcher to be getting that job done. And I wonder in this day and age how many of the catchers understand what you just said. I don't know.
It's constant communication. Pitching coach to the catcher and to the pitcher, catcher to the pitcher, outside, full count to Kent. There is no greater learning tool in baseball or anything else than restatement.
Yeah.
You just keep pounding it in until they learn and then put it into effect on the field. Hit deep to left field. Over is Martin, and this ball is gone. Home run, Jeff Kent. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Fastball count, and I think he got a fastball. Rico Brogna, 3-2 pitch, fastball count. He gets a splitter and strikes out.
Exactly, and he got it right in the wheelhouse here. A little bit on the inside part of the plate, but Jeff Kent can handle that. Watch how he gets around on it here. Just pull the bat back in a little bit towards the body, gets his 3rd home run. Jeff Kent's got a dozen RBIs.
Ray Ordonez struck out his first time up. So a home run by Jeff Kent puts the Mets on the board. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Ray Ordonez with a 12-game hitting streak. Tap towards short. Bell will have to hurry. Got it. 2-1 Pittsburgh. All runs being scored on solo homers. We're back after this from your Tri-State Toyota dealer. Bottom of the 5th inning, and back to call it for you, Gary Thorne.
Good ball game here. Pitchers going at it with Wagner and Bobby Jones for the Mets. One of the 2 home runs off Jones, hit by Charlie Hayes, his 2nd of the year, and Hayes leads it off here in the 5th inning and fouls that one back on the big swing. Hayes at 247 now. A couple of home runs and 8 RBIs. 2nd career home run he has had off Bobby Jones. Got off to a slow start of late, though. 10 hits in his last 23 at-bats for Charlie Hayes. He was striding away, and the pitch is on the outside corner. Letter high. He didn't think so, and it goes to 2 strikes. Turned around to say a couple of things to Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire. Jones gets the outside corner with a slider. Struck him out, his 3rd.
After Hayes hit that home run, Gary, we were talking about the lanes that Bobby Jones has to pitch in. That's a pretty good lane right there. Right on the corner gets Charlie Hayes.
Perfect pitch.
Yes, it was. Yes, sir.
One away here in the 5th. Jason Kendall, the youngster. Kendall with that 269 batting average right now after he struck out his first time up. But off to a very fine start for this 21-year-old rookie catcher. Fouls that one back off the fist, a ball and a strike. He's got the 3rd highest average among rookie hitters. One ball, 1 strike. A 2-1 lead here for the Pirates. Bobby Jones overhand off speed, base hit. It was up near the eyeballs, really, but he had time to get around on it. So Kendall's on with a one-out single here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that was a real hanger right there. That curveball right around the letters. Highest batting average in the National League. That's among rookies. Ray Ordonez tops them all. Jason Kendall now after that hit will go up a little.
Great number for a rookie who never played AAA ball to come up and have that start. Now everybody looking for the bunt here with Wagner up. He is 0 for 12 at the plate this year.
Pretty good hitter, though.
Squares around, drops it. Good bunt. Hundley. Vizcaino covering. Sacrifice. Kendall goes to second. Wagner helps himself by getting Kendall down there in scoring position. And Carlos Garcia, who's already had a day, stands in 1 for 2 with a home run. There are 2 down. It's a big out right here for Bobby Jones. Garcia takes the strike. Kendall not particularly fast at second base. Outfield deep on Garcia. He's got 3 home runs this year. Inside corner strike. Day in, day out at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up and never let you down, so make it a Bud Light. Oh, 2 count. Missed outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Garcia, 250 with runners in scoring position so far this year, but of course missed all those at-bats he would have had in 10 games out of the leg injury. Kendall off second, not being held at all. Strike 3 called. Nice job by Bobby Jones moving it around, as Timmy talked about, to the different lanes, and he got him in that inning. And the side retired, a base hit and 1 left on. 2-1 Pirates. Now this from Chrysler. Participating McDonald's restaurants in the New York tri-state area and pick up a coupon to save $4 on $13 METS ticket for any Monday through Thursday home games now through June 26th. For each ticket purchased through their special mail offer, the Mets will donate $1 to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities of New York City and Bloomfield. For details on this offer or any Mets ticket information, you can call 718-507-TIXX. And we go to the 6th inning in this 2-1 ball game with the Pirates on top. Bobby Jones leads it off. Johnson and Vizcaino will follow. Jones this season 0 for 4 on the year. Fouls that one back. He flied to right his first time up in today's game. Bobby has come back to pitch well here. He has not walked anybody and has struck out 4. He's given up just 4 hits. 2 of them, though, the solo home runs by Garcia and Hayes in the 3rd inning. 1 ball, 2 strike count on him. Long time for Bobby between wins for the Mets. Going back to last year. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for Wagner. Wagner now has 7.
Wagner doing to Jones what Jones did to Hayes and Garcia in the last half inning. Look how closely both of these strikeout pitches are. The first one to Hayes, outside corner. Second one to Garcia, outside corner. Same spot. Pitches like that, it's like music to a musician. It's that fine tone.
Boy, those were finely toned. El Martin can't get to it. Making the turn, Lance Johnson, and he'll go in with a double. So Lance Johnson, a couple of hits in 3 at-bats as he singled his last time up. Martin a long way out, a long run, about a couple steps shy of being able to make that, and Lance Johnson's got a 2-bagger. Well, the Mets have the potential tying run on at second base.
Lance smiling, but he'll take this and any like it. Al Martin in to make the play. It bounces over his head, but he corrals it in time to hold Johnson to a double.
Johnson with that outstanding speed. Extra base hits now. 6 triples, 4 doubles for him. Swung on and missed by Vizcaino, who has lined out the double play and flied out to left field. Vizcaino, the 0 for 2 in this one. That's for Kevin McClatchy, who we showed you earlier here at the park. Plane's been flying by with that sign on it for a while. Down the left field line again. This one, though, is going to be foul. And 2 strikes on Vizcaino. Jose this season 6 for 18 with runners in scoring position for the Mets, with the 7 RBIs coming off that. And a chance to add to that right here. He has been one of the better clutch hitters for the Mets. Bernard Gilkey leads them in that department. 4-14 with runners in scoring position for Gilkey. Breaking ball in the dirt. The splitter stopped by Kendall. 1-2 on Vizcaino.
Very important for a pitcher to have confidence enough in a catcher to make the good splitter with a runner on base. Had that ball gotten by Kendall, then you have Johnson on at third and 1 out.
Kendall was the #1 fielding catcher in AA last year when he won that MVP award in the Southern League. Threw out 34% of the base runners last year. It's a very high number. No coverage at second base.
You see a catcher get into a crouch like that, and the one thing you want to do is to keep your elbows outside your knees. Some catchers get into the habit of putting their elbows inside their knees, and they can't move from one side to the other. It locks them up. See how the elbows are outside? That allows him to make a play like that. He's in perfect position to drop down, keep the ball in front of him.
To get lazy, you drop them inside, wouldn't
you? You do, and it blocks you. You can't move from one side to the other. But see how the elbows are outside? That's perfect position to block the ball.
Wonder why, if you ever wondered why catchers' knees get beat up over the years catching. Yeah. Just watch the way he had to move those, right?
And the strain. I mean, you know, the knees are taking the full brunt of the upper body.
He was on his insteps with all his weight coming down on the knees that were bent inward. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Johnson at second. Bell holding him close out there. Vizcaino, Johnson's going. Fouled off. Lance Johnson was on his way to third base on that one. He's 3 for 3 in stolen bases this year.
A lot tougher to steal third base with a left-handed hitter up, because you're viewing from the catcher to the third baseman is not impeded by a right-handed batter. You have a clear shot down to third.
Mike Covich relaying the signs and watching Bell. Bell has been very close to second base, the shortstop holding Johnson. 2-2. Johnson not going. Strike called on the outside corner. Jerry Crawford has been consistent. He's giving the pitchers, both of them, the corner strikes in this game.
Sometimes because of the development of the pitch, an umpire will have to wait for the call, and that's what Jerry did here. Did it catch the corner? Looked like it did.
It cut right across the front part of the plate, huh?
Uh-huh.
Runner on at second, 2 down now, so it's the opportunity for Gilkey, who, as we mentioned, has been the best of the Mets, getting people home in scoring position so far. 1 for 2 in today's game. He is 6 for 15 lifetime with a home run against Paul Wagner. A 2-1 Pirate lead. Slider misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bernard Gilkey. Gilkey's batting .348. Two down. Johnson dancing off second. Good breaking ball. 1-2. Wagner has now struck out 8 in this game. His career high is 11. Came against Colorado last year.
That's when he was 1 out away from a no-hitter, an infield hit by Andres Galarraga, the only hit in that game on the 29th of August.
Galarraga, of all people, with an infield hit.
Right.
Gilkey takes that one up high, 2-2. Wagner thought he had that. He saw Gilkey crouch down a little bit. 2-out runner on situation for Gilkey. That's the situation right here. Lance Johnson with outstanding speed at second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bounce. Johnson's on his way to third. Kendall plays it, and it'll be a wild pitch charge to Wagner.
Well, the difference in blocking a ball like that is that ball wasn't centered to begin with. It was outside off the plate. Now when Kendall goes over, the ball hits the right elbow and fires back around the screen. The other 2 balls that Jason blocked earlier in the inning were centered over the center of the plate. So Johnson will be alive at third base for another splitter.
Third wild pitch by Wagner this year. Now does he not throw the splitter because of that?
No.
3-2. Came after him, was outside. That's the first walk of the game by either pitcher. And Gilkey's on at first and third for the Mets, 2 down. Pirates lead it 2-1 here in the 6th.
Yeah, you never change your thinking because there's a runner on at third base. The best pitch is still going to be the pitch you call for, whether it's the splitter in the dirt. Again, you have to have confidence in your catcher to come up with it. That was a breaking ball in the dirt, and Kendall came up with it.
Kevin Roberson has struck out twice against Paul Wagner. Rips it, base hit down the line. Johnson will score. Merced up with it, going to third. Gilkey throw all the way through. Gilkey's in, throw to second, safe at second base. Roberson hustling down to second. The Mets have tied the ball game up at 2. Roberson delivers the RBI single. And the Mets have 2 in scoring position in addition.
Hey, you talk to all the Mets coaches, and there is nobody who works harder on his hitting with the Mets than Kevin Roberson. Always in the batting cage. Very quiet young man. Comes up with a noisy hit in this ball game. After one last night, a 3-run shot to win it for New York in the 9th inning.
That right field position, which supposedly was locked down, you see his career numbers against Wagner.
And Orlando Merced misses the cutoff man. Look at Roberson looking at Gilkey in front of him. And now going into second base. Excellent base running by both Gilkey and Roberson to take the extra 90 feet.
We said he had that game-winning homer last night when Butch Husky set out. And it was a little reminder from Dallas Green to Husky about needing to play defense in the outfield. And then Roberson with a big hit gets a chance again today. He's come up with another big hit. Right field was Carl Everts when spring training started. He lost it to Butch Husky during spring training. And Kevin Roberson continues to play like this. He may win that position in right field.
That's exactly right. It's wide open right now.
All right, Rico Brogna 0 for 2. 2 on, 2 down. Game tied at 2. And Brogna takes it outside for a ball from Wagner. A big chance for Rico here. Base hit could bring 2 in. The past couple of seasons, he's been one of the best at that, struggling right now in that department. 1-0, missed down low. 2-0. Gilkey at third. Roberson at second.
I don't think Brogna will get a fastball to hit in this situation. That was a fastball outside corner, but it was indeed a fastball to hit. That was that 2-seamer that we talked about earlier. It goes away from a left-handed batter. I tell you, Wagner has a lot of pitches in his arsenal.
2 ball, 1 strike count on Brogna. Rico overall batting at .316. Came inside to him, missed it. 3 balls and 1 strike on the splitter. So the Mets have battled back here after falling behind on the solo home runs the Pirates had in the 3rd by Garcia and Hayes. Now have it tied. And Brogna puts that one towards right center. Now have a 2-run lead. Knocked down by Kingery. He'll get it back in, but Rico Brogna delivers a big 2-out. 2 RBI single on a 3-1 count. And the Mets go on top 4-2.
That was that same pitch that Rico had on the 2-0 count. The difference was he catches this one out in front of the plate, right before the tail. Hits it on the end of the bat, but certainly hard enough to play 2 runners. Good hitting by Rico Brogna, and the Mets take the lead for the first time in this game. See how that ball jets away from Brogna? He caught that one out in front. RBIs number 18 and 19 for Rico on the year.
So the Mets get to Paul Wagner here in the 6th inning. 3 runs in. And here's Todd Hundley. From his power side, he's 0 for 2 in the game. We'll see whether or not the failure to hit that cutoff man gave the Mets that extra run. For the moment, it has.
Very good point.
If he'd hit the cutoff man, there would have been runners at 1st and 3rd instead of 2nd and 3rd. Fouled off by Todd Hundley. 2 balls and 1 strike. He being Orlando Merced, who overthrew that ball to 3rd base. Hundley all season long, of course, has been on a tear here with the 8 home runs, 7 of them hit left-handed. Batting .357 left-handed and .211 right-handed. Wagner with a 2-1, and Hundley turns that one around, foul, 2-2.
Hey, Gary, I'm a little surprised that Jeff King is holding Brogna on. Rico's not a fast runner anyway. Then he's had the knee problems. You've got a left-handed pull hitter up there. That's a mistake usually Jim Leyland does not make. I'd play King about 5 feet behind Brogna. Rico's going nowhere.
And he's very close to the bag anyway. Swung on and missed. That'll be his 9th strikeout. Wagner gets Hundley, but the New York Mets pick up 3 runs here in the 6th inning and take the lead over the Pirates 4-2. Now this from your Tri-State Toyota dealer. 3 runs, 3 hits, RBIs from Roberson and Brogna in the 6th inning to take the 4-2 lead. Bobby Jones now in the 6th inning. Al Martin, King, and Merced. And Martin takes it up high for a ball. Martin has been a Met killer this season and in his career. Swung on and fouls that one off. He owns a .323 lifetime average against the Mets. And this season he has gone 8 for 22 with a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs. He doesn't mind seeing the Mets.
Al has also an odd way to start his bat. He actually puts it on his shoulder and then brings it off the shoulder. He learned it from Milt May and Chris Chambliss. He said it's a way of relaxing. Look how relaxed the arms are.
Good pitch by Bobby Jones. Blew it by him. A ball and 2 strikes.
Interestingly, Al told me before the game that he's of that football mentality, and he doesn't want to leave it in the rehearsal hall, as we say in the television business.
Got him. Bobby Jones gets his 5th strikeout. Take a look at our new Dodge quiz. Which stadium produced the most foul outs in each of the last 2 seasons? Most foul outs.
I think the Coliseum in Oakland has the most foul territory.
That's what. That one drilled to left field. Bernard Gilkey over, puts it away, and Jeff King's retired. He's 0 for 3, 2 down in the 6th.
I guess I'd say Oakland because of that. Because
of all the room they have. I was going to say Pittsburgh because we're here.
Elias never makes it that easy, though.
Bobby Jones 2 down, nobody on. Orlando Merced 0 for 2. Takes the strike. 4-2 lead. New York on top. Trying to take this third game of the series and take the series if they can. Outside to him.
I'd like to explain a little more fully about the Al Martin thing. Some players, when they hold the bat, they're too tense before they swing.
That's short. Handled cleanly. Ordonez up with it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Bobby Jones. Just what he wanted. Take a look at the line score through 6. Mets on top 4-2. Now this from Chrysler with the 4 runs on 6 hits, taking the lead over the Pirates 4-2. Going to the 7th inning, and Tim McCarver to take you there.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. 6 hits for the Mets, 4 for the Pirates. And Jeff Kent leads it off here in the 7th. He's much like Al Martin in that sometimes the type of personality that you are dictates how you start your bat. You notice how calm the hands are with Jeff. What he's trying to do is calm himself down. We mentioned Al Martin the same way. Football mentality. You have a tendency to be too intense, so you're trying to relax your arms, relax your hands before the bat gets in the hitting area. A lot of hitters are too tense to begin with, and by the time they get to the hitting zone, all of their tension's been used up. Similar to a golf swing where the hands are relaxed, and the time you want that tension and intensity is on impact. 2-1 to Jeff Kent.
You can see Jeff just right there, just kind of.
Base hit inside the line. It's worked the last 2 times up. Jeff Kent with a double, his 2nd straight extra base hit. Leads it off here in the 7th.
It's as though he's taking a breath. After he completes the 3-4 swings that he makes, then the pitcher gets ready to deliver. You can just kind of see him when he puts the bat, just kind of gently lets it go. It just kind of sits right there and then starts. Boy, he's getting around on it.
Our mutual hero, Ted Williams, used to say that right before the pitcher releases the ball, someone should be able to come over and take the bat out of your hands. That's how relaxed the hand should be as Ray Ordonez takes a strike.
And there aren't many you could do that to.
No.
Ever in baseball.
There are 2 guys right there. Ralph Kiner on the left and Ted Williams. 2 pretty good thumpers.
Yeah. Yes.
This one hit foul. No balls, 2 strikes to Ray Ordonez, whose 12-game hitting streak is on the line. He's 0 for 2 today. Look at the difference in the hands. Rico Brogna above the ball, and Jeff Kent, I'd say about 9 inches lower. Tap. The pitcher, Wagner, up with it, and safe at first is Ordonez. 13 in a row for Ray Ordonez. Wasn't pretty, but he'll take it.
And Timmy, as you mentioned, the 12-game hit streak was on the line, and he extends it with yet another infield single. When Ordonez was called up, the understanding was that he was not particularly fast. I think he's a little faster than we were led to believe getting down the line. I mean, he's not a great speedster, but he's going to get his share of infield hits. In fact, he's already doing that here in his rookie season. That'll help you enormously in both your average and your on-base percentage, which sets you up, of course, to help the team in run production.
I think his hands are so quick, his feet are so quick, that you have a tendency to look at how quick he is as opposed to how fast he is. This one fouled back by Bobby Jones, 0-1. There's especially for an infielder, there is a big difference in being quick and being fast.
Yeah.
Usually quickness refers to their first 2 or 3 steps. Ray is certainly quick in that regard.
Absolutely.
There's Chuck Tanner. Managed the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates to a world championship in 1979. Stop watching his hand. A bunt. And Ordonez to second, so the sacrifice successful. Runners on at second and third, and Lance Johnson coming up. 4-2 Mets here in the 7th. Take a look at our new Dodge quiz. Which stadium produced the most foul outs in each of the last 2 seasons? And the answer is Candlestick. How about that?
Has a lot of room, but I would have thought with all the wind out there that it would have swept a lot of those back into the seats.
Well, we got the Bay Area, so at least we got the area. We had Oakland.
Just took the ferry the wrong way.
Doesn't count, though, does it? It is 4-2 New York. Wagner's out of there. Jason Christensen, I believe, will be the pitcher. No, it's Lee Hancock. And this call to the bullpen brought to you by 9X, and we'll be right back.
Threatening to score again here, Lee Hancock, the 28-year-old left-hander, will come out of the bullpen. You see the numbers this season. Saratoga, California native who had spent 8 years in the minors before making his first major league appearance last year. He appeared in 11 games for the Pirates. Comes on here with 2 on.
Paul Wagner came into the game 3-1. He lost his first game last Tuesday to the Phillies. So Wagner out of there. He cannot be the winner in this game, but he can lose it. He's trailing 4-2 here in the 7th. 0-1 to Lance Johnson. Lance 1 for 3. Make that 2 for 3 on the afternoon. He doubled and scored a run in the 6th inning. Infield in for Pittsburgh. Fastball fouled away. 0-2 to Johnson.
Talking about Ray Ordonez and how much help you can be to a team if you can get infield hits. What a start he's had in that department, too. He leads the National League now with 8 infield hits.
0-2 to Lance Johnson. Slider tapped towards short. Ken will try to score and make it. So the Mets on contact and plated a run. 5-2 New York. Ordonez to third on the play.
Just off and going, and Bell had a bad angle to try and come up with this ball to make a play at the plate on the check swing. See, he's going over to third. Might have had a play at the plate. Would have been very close. Took the safe route to get the out at first.
That's good strategy, Gary, by Dallas Green, especially when you're ahead. The worst that can happen is that you end up with runners on at first and third and 2 outs, but you've taken a chance on scoring. As Vizcaino now turns around to bat right-handed against Hancock. Tapped foul, 1-1 to Jose Vizcaino, who's 0 for 3 today. Mets with 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and 1 here in the 7th, lead at 5-2. Pittsburgh started the scoring with 2 solo home runs in the 3rd inning off Bobby Jones. But Bobby with the lead now. Toward third, Hayes. Throws out Vizcaino, but the Mets with another run lead at 5-2. We're back after this from your local Dodge dealer. Has been very effective today. Charlie Hayes had a solo homer in the 3rd, and Carlos Garcia a solo homer in the 3rd. And Jay Bell hits one to right center. Over is Johnson. Roberson, a little miscommunication there, and Lance recovers in time. Well, Lance with that great smile, huh?
Loves playing the game.
Yeah, Kevin Roberson, on the other hand, very intense.
Lance telling him, I'm the traffic cop out here now.
Funny, when Kevin was playing on the north side of Chicago with the Cubs, Lance was on the south side of Chicago with the White Sox.
Did a little stutter step he did right there, making sure there was not going to be a collision.
Foul away, 0-1. That's not unusual to have miscommunication between a White Sox and a Cubs fan.
Happens often, in fact, in the city.
By the way, trying to segue into that, with our next broadcast will be from Wrigley Field, the Confines. We're at the Confluence today, the Confines next Saturday and Sunday.
We'll draw us another map, I'm sure. You are here.
I'll work on that this week.
Okay.
Yes. Ray Ordonez and the troops will go to Wrigley Field after 3 night games against the Montreal Expos Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Fly ball, shallow right. Roberson this time. 2 outs in the 7th.
Have a chance to see Harry Carey this weekend. All right, everybody.
Harry.
Let's get some runs.
God love him.
God love him is right. Started off announcing baseball in 1945, his 52nd year in broadcasting. First partner was Gabby Street. His beloved Cardinals. He left the Cardinals in '69. As Charlie Hayes fouls one just barely down the right field line. 0-1 to Hayes, who had a home run in the 3rd. And Harry went to Oakland for 1 year, and then he was with the White Sox for about 9 years before he joined the Cubs in Dallas Green's first year, 1982. Chopping wood with that swing. 0-2 to Hayes.
Preparing early for next winter.
Chop up a cord, Charlie.
Can you say corkscrew? Watch him get jammed on this. Yeah. Just saving fists on that one.
Fastball misses away. A ball and 2 strikes to Charlie Hayes.
Mets have got to be mighty impressed with the performance by Bobby Jones here today and happy about it. 5 1/3 in his last outing against Cincinnati, his longest of the previous 3 starts. Today he has really moved the baseball around well. Much more control, as Timmy's talked about, over his pitches as far as location's concerned than we've seen in the previous starts this year.
5 strikeouts. He has walked no one, and the fastball is high to Charlie Hayes. Full count to Charlie. Only 4 Pirates have reached base. The 2 home runs, they were solo shots, then a single by Jay Bell, a single by Jason Kendall. Fly ball deep to right. Back is Roberson near the wall. Makes the grab. Kevin Roberson. Oh, the advantage of having a tall right fielder. Still 5-2 Mets. As you can see on our Miller line score, and we'll be right back after this.
Well, this is Kevin Roberson. Hayes watching this ball, knowing he's got a chance. Ooh, right at the top. Hayes can only go, oh my.
No, we're kidding about that, but certainly the leaping ability of Kevin Roberson. And he used all of his 6'4" frame to make that play. Fine play to end the 7th. And Bernard Gilkey takes a fastball inside from Lee Hancock. 5-2 New York. We're in the 8th. Rubber game of 3 here at Three Rivers. Ground ball past Jay Bell. So a hit for Bernard Gilkey to open the 8th inning. Bernard 2 for 3 on the afternoon, continuing his torrid start. Talked to Walt Jocketty in St. Louis, the general manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. He said, I would have loved to have kept Gilkey, but the economics of the game prevented it. And I said, but Walt, you signed Ron Gant to a $20 million contract, or 25, I guess, over 5 years. And he said, yeah, but once we paid Gant all that money, we couldn't afford Gilkey. But the Mets could, and are they ever glad to have him as Kevin Roberson, who had an RBI single to tie it his last time up, batting right-handed this time, 0-1 to Kevin. No balls, 2 strikes now to Roberson.
Great leadership in the outfield and in the clubhouse for the New York Mets from Gilkey. I mean, he brings that kind of level-headed experience to the team. It's a great personality that shines through when you start talking to him. Gives you a very hard game face.
And a very bright man, too. When he talks, the younger guys listen.
Mets had a team meeting yesterday before the game. Franco, one of those. Gilkey, one of those. Hundley, another of the veterans who got together first and said, we need to sit down and have one of those. Guys, we're not doing well here. So they did.
And Jerry Crawford looking toward the Mets dugout. Now Dallas Green standing up. I have no idea what this is all about. Evidently somebody on the bench getting on Jerry Crawford, but for what reason? I don't know.
Not a very heated exchange, whatever it was.
Firm, but not heated.
Yeah.
There goes Gilkey. Fastball is outside. A strong throw by Kendall, but Gilkey in there.
Not an easy ball to throw on for Jason Kendall. In fact, he had to turn halfway around here after he went out to get it. Bring the ball back from behind his knee. That's right on the money. Gilkey just beat it with a head-first slide.
That's a fine play by Kendall to make the throw as close as it was. Gilkey sliding to the outside part of the bag. Safe, his 6th steal of the year. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kevin Roberson here in the 8th inning. Did he go too far? Yes, he did. First strikeout for Lee Hancock, and that'll bring up Rico Brogna. Take a look at the Nobody Beats the Wiz game summary. Bobby Jones has been excellent today. Only 2 runs. Jeff Kent, a solo homer and a double. He has scored 2 runs. Kevin Roberson, a big RBI single, and Rico Brogna breaking the 2-2 tie. Garcia and Hayes for the Pirates both have solo home runs. It's 5-2 New York here in the 8th. Almost hit him. Ball 1.
Rico Brogna, one of the questions, of course, this year. What left-handers would he sit out against? Still not clearly answered. Dallas Green will remove him from some of the better left-handers. Rico wants the opportunity to hit him. This year, Rico's gone 4 for 15 against lefties. He had hit at a tremendous pace against left-handers a couple years ago in the first half of last year, and then it kind of tailed off the end of last season, his average against southpaws, second half of the year. There's the comparison this year.
Throw back to second. Gilkey back in time. One and one to Brogna. Jam, bites it off, breaks his bat. Pittsburgh, of course, everybody knows with the old steel companies here, normally a labor town, but certainly not in favor of the Major League Baseball Players Association. All these signs around the ballpark. They do not like Donald Fear in this town.
I don't think Donald was aware of this either. I think we're providing information here that he hadn't realized at first. They spelled his name wrong, but the thought's there.
Slider is low, 2-2 to Rico Brogna. Only kidding. Donald Fear, of course, the head of the Baseball Players Association. And Gary, we haven't heard for the last month and a half anything about the meetings between the owners and the players.
Probably a good sign, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Everybody's perceiving it as that. Slider hit to center field and deep. Back is Kingery near the track to make the play. Gilkey goes to third, and he'll stop there with 2 outs, 5-2 Met lead, and that'll bring up Todd Hundley, the catcher.
Supposedly, there are still some very tough issues to be decided in the negotiations, including compensation.
Yeah, I think that's the key
for games
right now.
Missed
Yep.
during the labor stoppage.
In 1994, because some of those games missed could be the difference in whether a player goes to arbitration or not, whether he declares free agency or not. The owners are not willing to give compensation for time missed. I mean, that's a reasonable stance to take, one would think. But, of course, we don't know all the other things that are involved. Kevin McClatchy, the principal owner here of the Pirates, certainly involved in those, and implying in New York that things look good on the labor front. 1-1 to Hundley.
Historically, in labor negotiations, though, compensation and time missed is given back as part of contracts settled, generally. Now, that's the union's position on that.
Nice play, Kendall. 2 balls and a strike to Hundley.
Well, that is really, I think, part of the process that's held everything up. And then the owners took a long time, of course, to get around on what the compensation package was going to be for their divvying up of revenues for struggling teams.
That seems to have been straightened out among the owners, right? Ground ball, left field, base hit, Hundley. Gilkey scores, 6-2 New York.
Well, the Mets have taken advantage of people on base in this game. They have stranded only 3 and only 1 in scoring position so far. You gotta like that. It's key hits.
5 runs with 2 outs.
Right through the middle, Todd Hundley, and doing it from the side where his average is a good deal lower, batting right-handed.
Jeff Kent, 2 for 3, and this one hit hard. Hayes there. The Mets score another one. They have scored in 4 straight innings and lead 6-2. We're back after this from Chrysler. Crawford continued to talk. Started this conversation with 2 out in the top of the 8th inning. It does not look like a acrimonious conversation. Looks like it's almost going over the rules. You know, it might be with the left-hander throwing to first base and Jeff King not being on the bag.
I think that, Timmy, I think you're right about that. I think that's exactly what it was, because Dallas was pointing down towards first base and continuing that discussion. And there, of course, can be a balk called. That kind of deception occurs down there by the first baseman.
Yeah, and Bobby Wine looks like that he's agreeing with Dallas. Jason Kendall is jammed, and on 1 pitch, the Mets and Bobby Jones have 1 out. Back on March 27th, and the reason we know that is that Jeff Mitchell checked the other, make that the 23rd. Bobby and Dallas in a meaningless game in Port St. Lucie, the spring training facility of the Mets, had Chris Jones playing first base, and Bob McDonald was the pitcher. He threw to first base, and Jones was backing up at the time. A balk was called, and the reason the balk was called, it was a game that we did. The reason the balk was called was that Chris wasn't playing on the bag, but behind the bag, and making no attempt to go toward the bag. So Dallas and Bobby remained on the playing field, argued after the game was over with Ed Rapuano, as Nelson Liriano fouls it away as the pinch hitter for Lee Hancock. But the Pirates did that on Friday night. There was no argument. the left-hander going to first base, Jeff King off the bag, and we assume that that's what Jerry Crawford and Dallas were talking about.
Keith Hernandez, back in the 86, in fact, there was a big argument that went on all year about the fact that Keith Hernandez liked to cheat down the line when a runner was on at first base, and he was holding the bag, but he would do it by coming in a couple of steps and then would kind of jump back towards the bag at first, and balks were called in that situation.
One on Doug Sist that I remember 10 years ago. Outside to Liriano, 3 balls and a strike now. Jones has walked no one in this game.
Which actually, those kind of balks to me make more sense than some that are called against the pitchers. If the whole purpose is not to deceive base runners, those kinds of balks make sense because those are deceptive situations.
First walk of the game given up by Bobby Jones. We check our National League scoreboard about 300 miles downriver on the Ohio-Cincinnati. Their game of the Phillies called off. Atlanta at St. Louis tonight, and those Expos keep on rolling. They've scored 7 runs in the first inning today at Coors Field in Denver. Carlos Garcia, solo home run. Back in the 3rd inning, he's 1 for 3, fouls it off, 0-1. In our Toyota American League scoreboard, the Twins have taken the lead at the stadium 3-2. Oakland playing good ball. Over 500. Center field, Lance Johnson over. Arm out, warding off Roberson. 2 outs. Chicago White Sox only 1 game back. They're 13-9 going into today's action. Liriano at first base. 2 outs. We're in the 8th inning at 6-2 New York. I mean, how many times do you see in a 6-1 ball game a pitcher called for not coming to a stop with like a pitcher on at second base?
Not even watching.
Yeah,
much
exactly.
less moving.
Line drive, base hit up the middle. Liriano will go to third base. Martin stops at first. So Pittsburgh with runners at the corners and 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jeff King, the first baseman.
Al Martin continues his hit streak now. He's hit successfully in the last 8. McDonald warming up in the Mets bullpen.
I think if I were Dallas, I'd have a right-hander up too, because with Merced, the left-hander, the next batter, he's followed by Jay Bell. And I don't know whether you'd want McDonald, if he doesn't get Merced out, pitching to Jay Bell, because that would mean that Bell would be representing the go-ahead run.
With power.
Yeah. So McDonald, the only pitcher up for the Mets. And here comes Greg Pavlik out to talk to Bobby Jones with a count of ball and no strikes to Jeff King.
Certainly Greg Pavlik wants to check on just the feeling from Bobby on how he is doing right now, as he has not gone this far or anything close to it this season. Into the 5th inning is the longest outing, and that was his last one, 5 1/3. He had been virtually unhittable through the middle. Retired the side in order in the 6th and the 7th. Hadn't given up a hit since the 5th, and then here's had a couple of balls hit pretty hard off him.
If Bobby Jones loses Jeff King, it could be his last man with Orlando Merced on deck. 2 outs, 2 on, 6-2 New York. Drilled foul. 1-1, and a big sigh of relief from Dallas Green, I'm sure.
This is called jumping on a pitch. Got him pretty well timed here this inning.
Jeff King had a 2-run home run in Friday night's ball game. Wicked cut. A ball and 2 strikes to King. Well, he has had a couple of haughty hacks.
Not missing out on a swing here in this at-bat.
Ground ball to third. Kent, the long way to first, a low throw, but he got his man. Bobby Jones has just been terrific. It's 6-2 New York. We're back after this from your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Interesting story in the third pitcher coming on for Pittsburgh. This is Joe Baber, 35-year-old right-hander. He was pitching in his backyard Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, they signed him to a contract with the minors. Zane Smith was put on the DL, so they called him up today. So here he is. And he's getting a welcome back from Jason Kendall, who probably hasn't even met him yet. He had been released by the Detroit Tigers and then by the minor league teams he tried out with, and had gone home and was ready to put a season behind him and move on next year. Well, here he is.
Moral of the story is, for all of you retired pitchers, go out in your backyard. Start loosening up. State of pitching in the major league dictates that you could be in there tomorrow. It's 1-1 to Ray Ordonez.
Oh, mercy.
The harmless little picnic could turn into a job.
That's right.
Base hit up the middle for Ordonez, so he continues his hot hitting. Mets have had the leadoff man on in each of the last 3 innings, and they have scored in each of the last 4 innings. 6-2 New York.
What a surprise at the plate for Ordonez, though. He's hitting the ball hard. I mean, that's the key. They aren't soft hits he's picking up.
Yeah, I mean, he batted .214 at Norfolk last year, but then he went to winter ball, where he finished second to Roberto Alomar as Bobby Jones gets the bunt down. He'll take the short way home. Sacrifice successful. He's done it twice today. He led the National League last year with 18 sacrifice bunts. But then Ray Ordonez finishing second to Roberto Alomar in hitting. In 32 games, he batted .351 for Santurce when one of his teammates was Orlando Merced, the right fielder for the Pirates. Everybody that you talk to in the organization talks about his baseball savvy. Talking to Bobby Wine today, you know, he's never seen a young shortstop who always knows what he's going to do with the ball when the ball is hit to him. His anticipation and instincts are terrific. His hands are quick. His feet are quick. Hit hard. Bell drops it. The throw to first. Got him. Great play by Jeff King as Ordonez moves to third. 2 outs.
Saved a run on that one as Bell looking over there smiling, thankful for the play made at first base. Bell had to swing around here, make the 360, kind of lost track of where first base was doing all of this. Then a sidearm throw to boot. That's a beautiful pick at first.
So a fine play by Jeff King. There are 2 outs and Jose Vizcaino coming up. Jose looking for his first hit. He is 0 for 4 on the afternoon. 6-2 New York here in the 9th. Strike 1. Merced, Bell, and Carey due up. Outside and high, ball 1. 1-1 to Jose Vizcaino. Bounces away from Kendall. Ordonez will score. 7-2 New York. As Ray Ordonez scores run number 7. So the Mets have now scored in each of the last 5 frames.
moving it around here in this inning to manufacture it with the single and the sacrifice, moving over on the ground ball, and that one buried by Joe Baver on the wild pitch, and Ordonez had plenty of time to score. Had a good lead at third in any event, but that ball went all the way back.
It looked like Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire, could have taken one off the shoulder.
He's already got that right arm wrapped up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right off the wrapping.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you. There's that right elbow wrapped, and that ball finding that right elbow. Jerry appears to be all right. Oh, a deep breath, and here we go again. 2 balls and a strike to Vizcaino. Fouled away, 2-2 to Joe. I think as far as having everything, the Mets in this game have played their best game of the year. Pitching, defense, consistent hitting, good base running. The base running by Gilkey and Roberson.
Yep.
To set up runs 3 and 4.
Clutch hitting.
Clutch
right
hitting,
there.
yep. Bernard Gilkey on deck. This one hit to right center. It could drop, and does. Vizcaino with hit number 13 for the Mets. Make that 12. So Vizcaino on at first base with 2 outs, and Bernard Gilkey coming up. Bernard 2 for 3, 2 runs scored. This is the type of game that we got used to seeing in spring training when the Mets were 14-7.
Offense continuing to surprise, as we mentioned at the top of our broadcast. Nobody expected the New York Mets were going to be up there among the top teams in batting average and runs at any point of the season, yet they are doing that. That's exactly where they are, and doing it with power and a lot of hits.
This one bounces away from Kendall, but Vizcaino not going anywhere. So Joe Baver has come in to give up 1 run. It's 7-2 New York, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Bernard Gilkey. Joe starting his career with the Atlanta Braves. I beg your pardon, the St. Louis Cardinals. He had his best year with the Atlanta Braves. This one by Kendall, and the young catcher in a catching slump, probably caused by a pitcher that he's never caught before.
Yeah, well, when we said that he went out, you saw Baver smile when he first came on here in this inning, and Kendall went out to greet him. Literally, I'd probably have never met. And so he's seeing Baver's pitches for the first time, and the movement, that time down and away, just didn't get the glove on it.
Vizcaino moves up, a pass ball on Kendall. This one fouled back. 2-2 now to Bernard Gilkey. Everybody in the starting lineup, with the exception of Bobby Jones, has at least 1 hit this afternoon. This one hit hard. Jay Bell now with a long throw to get Gilkey. But the Mets score another one. They lead it 7-2. We'll be right back after this from your local Dodge dealer. Bobby Jones has just been terrific. His last complete game, Jay Harwitz informs us, was last September 8th against the Montreal Expos. He has only 4 for his career. So he'll try to pin down number 5 today as a 5-run cushion with which to do it.
What a great performance by Bobby Jones here today. It's so important for the Mets, trying to get this pitching staff back in order again.
Orlando Merced, the batter, and the fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Merced 0 for 3 on the afternoon. He's grounded to second twice and lined to short. Strike 1. 1-1 to Orlando Merced. Breaking ball is ball 2, 2-1. Expos in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the Mets hit the road again, going to Chicago and Florida. High, ball 3, 3-1 now to Merced.
While the Mets obviously keep a pitch count on their pitchers, they do not like to talk about it and don't want their starters thinking about pitch counts.
Ball 4.
Alice Green has long believed if you are effective, it's what you're doing. Are you getting him out? If you are, then he wants you to stay in as a starter. That's the decision they make, but still, they keep the count so they know. Bullpen call right here. Steve Swisher at the other end in the bullpen.
Doug Henry, who was in last night's ball game, looks like he will be getting ready. Jay Bell, the shortstop, the batter. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. This one hit deep to left center field. Johnson over, and this ball is gone. Home run, Jay Bell, 7-4, Mets lead. And that bullpen will hurry up now. Now John Franco joins Henry.
Right there. I mean, that's just right down the middle.
Yep.
Fastball that he caught up with. And for Bell, his 4th home run. He now has 16 RBIs, 2-hit day today for him.
Mike Kingery now the batter. And he takes a strike. 0-1 to Kingery. How many games have we seen where those tack-on runs become so very important? Tap toward third. Kent catches, falls down, and throws him out. 1 out.
Those tack-on runs not only make the difference, Timmy, often because the teams come back late in the ball game, 8th and 9th inning.
Yep.
Also, though, for starters, if you don't tack those runs on, Bobby Jones has not even going to get a chance at a complete game. He's not going to be in there in this circumstance. You see, leading after 8 innings, the Mets 6 wins, 1 loss.
2 of those, however, were blown saves by John Franco, where he picked up the win after blowing the save, in fairness. Charlie Hayes, ground ball, base hit. So Hayes on at first, 1 out. The Mets looking for an out here. And the catcher, Jason Kendall, up. Pittsburgh trailing by 3, and Greg Pavlik wants to know, is Franco ready? Is Henry ready?
He's clearly, the tank's on empty here for Bobby Jones.
Yep.
He's just trying to throw strikes. They're hittable fastballs. He no longer, the arm strength isn't there to go by anybody, nor is he fine-tuning the lanes. So it's just a matter of time. Dallas
will take the slow walk to the mound. Give Doug Henry or John Franco that much more of a chance to warm up. It's going to be Doug Henry, the right-hander. But great effort by Bobby Jones on the afternoon, working 8 1/3, giving up 4 earned runs. Of course, if Charlie Hayes scores, that run will be charged to Bobby. We'll be right back to see how Doug Henry does after this from U.S. Air.
Will come on with the Mets leading 7-4. The numbers he has put up this year, including an appearance in last night's game, worked an inning, gave up just 1 hit. He has not surrendered a run in his last 4 games, covering 6 innings. And comes on here with the Mets up by 3 and a runner on.
Doug Henry is a man that Dallas Green feels very comfortable going with to try to save ball games. It's not like he hasn't had experience doing that. He had 29 saves with Milwaukee back in 1992. A total of 61 saves with the Brewers in 3 years. Mark Johnson, the pinch hitter for Jason Kendall, rips one foul off Henry.
Did not ask more of Bobby Jones than that. He just ran out of gas.
Dallas Green going to the pump with Henry. This one fouled back, 0-2 to Mark Johnson, pinch hitting for Jason Kendall.
This guy has enormous power. Problem has been he doesn't make consistent contact. But man, he can drill a ball about as far as anyone in the game right now.
6'7", 220-pound Mark Johnson. Splitter is low. Nice play, Hundley. Ball and 2 strikes to Mark Johnson. Low, ball 2, 2-2. They also serve who only stand and wait.
Or pray.
Ball 3. Full count now to Johnson.
Now, this is what Johnson wasn't doing last year. It's the reason after making the club he got sent down to AAA. He would go after bad pitches. And that's what Henry's trying to get him to do here, and he's not biting on him.
3-2 pitch to Mark Johnson. Ball 4, lost him. And that'll bring up Dave Clark, another left-handed batter with power, to pinch hit for the pitcher Joe Baber. Dallas Green is coming out to make a move. And it'll be John Franco, and Jim Leland's got an interesting situation here because Leland acknowledging to me in New York that he fully realizes that left-handers are better hitters against Franco than right-handers. We'll see what Jim...
Finally.
We'll see what Jim Leland does here. This is going to be interesting. We'll be right back after this from Chrysler.
Pavlik there before he made that last change. You know when that smile, the ironic smile saying it just don't come easy. John Franco got his 3rd save in last night's game, working a 1 inning. Gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 for 6 in the save department. This is a save situation.
So Jim Leland has removed Dave Clark from the game, and Jacob Brumfield will be the pinch hitter for Clark. Brumfield with power. He has 1 home run this year. The Mets lead by 3. There is 1 out and 2 on, and Brumfield the batter against Franco. Fouled off.
2 hits, 1 run in reserve, 1 wild pitch.
Jacob turns 28 in 1 month. Formerly with Cincinnati, from Bogalusa, Louisiana, and a swing and a miss at perhaps the best changeup that Franco's thrown in 2 or 3 outings. That was a vintage Franco pitch right there. Nothing in Tudor Brumfield.
The one that gets the right-handers right here. That's impossible to hit. Starts in the strike zone, down and in.
Got him. Viva La Franco so far. 2 outs.
Timmy was talking about last year, left-handers hit 281 off Franco. Right-handers hit 245. Timmy was talking about Jimmy Leland acknowledging that at Shea.
4 straight strikes from Franco. Carlos Garcia. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Hayes will score the 5th run of the game for the Pirates. And that'll bring up Al Martin, a left-handed hitting left fielder. That hit by Garcia was off the end of the bat, a little flare to right center. But the Pirates with the potential tying run on base and the potential winner at the plate. We're in the 9th inning, 2 on, 2 out. The Mets up by 2. Outside, ball 1. Martin 1 for 4 on the afternoon. One to Al Martin. What was a lapper before this inning started has turned into a gut grinder. Out of play, a ball and 2 strikes now to Al Martin. Run, by the way, charged to Bobby Jones, so the book closed on him. Outside, 2-2 now to Martin. Big pitch right here. If this pitch is a ball, and that means Garcia will be off and running on the 3-2 pitch. So Franco comes in giving up only 1 hit, but striking out Brumfield, the pinch hitter, and Al Martin, as Franco saves it for Jones, and the Mets win it 7-5.
Bobby Jones, magnificent performance to pick up his first win, and maybe he has gotten himself on track, having gone down for the couple of games in the extended spring training. Coming back up, having changed his mechanics, very effective in today's game. John Franco needing a couple of confidence builders himself. Last night a save and another one here as he gets Martin. He's been a red-hot hitter to end it.
Well, a lot of good things happened to the Mets today. Bobby Jones giving up the 2-run homer and then the other run in the 9th inning. But what we saw today was vintage Franco. The offense continued to hit, good defense, and probably the brightest light today, Bobby Jones, 8 1/3 innings of solid starting pitching. So the Mets win it 7-5. They go home to face the Montreal Expos tomorrow night with a mini 2-game winning streak. 7-12-0 for the Mets. 5-8-0 for Pittsburgh. The winner, Bobby Jones, his record now 1-1. The loser, Paul Wagner, his record now 3 wins and 2 losses. We'll be back with more comments right after this from Chrysler.